What's up, peopleoids? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Monday Game Chat. Welcome. GTA6 video finally got released. And of course, if you were watching last week, you got a little bit of a teaser. You saw a teaser. Yeah, we had a teaser before the official launch, as it turned out. Plus, we had, of course, the Game Awards last week. Lots of teasers for forthcoming games revealed there. The day before, a kind of much hyped / anticipated game. Is it a scam? Is it a con? Some latest update on all of that, because there was a big announcement on GeForce Now that it was coming to GeForce Now. Well, yes, interesting. And so much more to be discussing this week on the Monday Game Chat. Roll the titles.
It's the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden.
Yokoso, arigato gozaimasu. Hey, sumimasen. As ever, welcome to the Monday Game Chat. Me, your host, Clive Illenden, as always playing, points out. Yes, indeed, the AI intro knows me well. Yeah. Highly recommend. Get yourself your own announcement, thanks to AI, indeed. Evening, Neil. How are you? Good to see you, of course. So, of course, yes, we're going to be discussing lots of interesting things, lots of game news, all the latest game news. And there was sort of quite a bit, really, thanks to the Game Awards. Did you watch the Game Awards? Were you like kind of whatever? I mean, for me, the Game Awards were on a bit late. Yeah. I'm an old man. I was in bed. Like it was, I don't know, 1 o'clock in the morning or something crazy. I guess it was in, Californian time, not UK time. We can't all be, European centric. So I didn't really kind of watch it, and I caught up with it the next day and stuff like that. Bit of controversy around the Game Awards. Is it really the Game Awards or just one big kind of sponsored marketing event? That's the sort of takeaway, isn't it, really? And I don't have a problem with that. If we get to see forthcoming games and teasers and all of that, kind of like a E3 or a kind of Festival of Gaming type thing, but call it that. Just call it the Winter Festival of Gaming with the award ceremony sort of thrown in. I think that's the better way to market it, personally. Because that's what it is, because you had so many kind of teasers, and we'll be looking at stuff, extra clips from stuff, games and stuff forthcoming. We had stuff from Hideo Kojima's forthcoming game called OD, a little teaser trailer for that. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. Mad as a box of frogs. Yeah, mad as a box of frogs, as we say. So we'll be taking a look at that, of course. GTA6, as I said, the gameplay footage was leaked live on this show. When I say live on this show, I didn't leak it. I leaked the leak. Yeah, I leaked the leak and gave viewers of this show live a little look at the teaser trailer, the GTA6 teaser trailer before it was actually launched. But because of that leak, Rockstar just went, oh, what the heck? We're not waiting till Tuesday. Here you go, have it. Which I thought was perfect. Rather than run around, the marketing department and PR department running around like, headless chicken, just go, okay, if you're going to be like that, let's cut that speculation, cut out all the rumours. Is it, is the leak footage real? Isn't it real? All of that. Wallop. There you go. That's going to spoil the party of, if you're going to spoil our party, we'll spoil your party, leaker. So that's what they did. And they put that out. So, and very interesting. Let's have a look at this. If we have a look here. Oh, yeah, of course. Before we get to some of the news, ladies and gentlemen, as ever, let me know what games you've been playing in the chat below over here. Yeah? Also, anything you want to be discussing, any interesting gaming news and all of that you want to kind of, talk about. It's the Monday Game Chat, and that's what we do. We chat about games and all of that, and hopefully have a nice time doing it, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's say hello to Fabi. How are you, Fabi? Good to see you. I'm good, thank you. And Al Davis Music is in the house. Good to see you there as well. Always a pleasure. So yeah, of course, the big news, the week's biggest gaming news, from GTA6 to the Game Awards. So the big news, obviously, GTA. Let's see, we should run the video, shouldn't we? Let's get the old. Let's run it while we talk about it. I won't have the. Actually, while we're here, why don't we check how many views? Because the big thing is the Mirror, the Express, Rockstar Games. Look at that, right? 104. I don't know if you can see that there. In 6 days, 141. I don't want to play the music because I'll get things. 141 million views. It beat the record for the most views in 24 hours. I told you that this game, and we know this game is going to sell a lot, Clive. No Sugar Sherlock, yeah? We know the game is going to sell a lot. But what I was talking about last week is that this game is not going to be like one of the biggest gaming events we've seen, biggest gaming moments. It's going to be one of the biggest entertainment moments. And certainly money-wise, just do the maths. This is going to sell at like 60, 70 quid. Yeah, $60, $70, right? $60, $70. 100 million people viewed the video. Now, I'm not saying 100 million people are going to rush out and buy this game. Yeah? But if only 10 million, right, which is nothing in the size of this game, if only 10 million buy this game in the first 24 hours, that's $700 million. Yeah? And probably it's going to be closer to twice that, if not 3 times that. So suddenly you're talking $1 billion. Say they release it over a weekend. I reckon you're easily seeing gross, albeit a gross, but $1 billion. No question. Easy. As I said, before that, I think there was a BTS video. It was the fastest video to 100 million, beating either a BTS video or a Mr. Beast video. I can't remember. But if that is not significant indicator of the hype around this game, and it's not coming out until 2025, which is the interesting thing. It's building now. The hype, he starts here. Yeah. In a year's time, the hype's going to be off the roof, as they say. It's been crazy, isn't it? So there we go. Now, the interesting thing here as well, which is quite curious, and I'd like to know your thoughts. After all, it is the Monday Game Chat. You are the chat and all of that. Rockstar has confirmed that, at least at launch, the company's long-awaited open-world crime sim, Grand Theft Auto 6, will launch on Xbox Series X and S and PS5 only, with no mention of the PC version. And I know that Tom at The Verge approached them, and a number of other journalists, gaming journalists, approached them and said, did you leave off the PC version or something? And they're going, no. At the moment, we're only announcing the Xbox Series X and S and the PS5 only version. Which is interesting as well, because in 2025, it's not that Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 at the end of towards the end of their cycle. But I guess at that time, they'll probably be at the height of sales, actually, in terms of, usually when you're sort of 3/4 of the way through the console cycle, they're going to be at the height of ownership in terms of the number of boxes out there that Grand Theft Auto 6 can be sold to. So, Interesting. But interesting, why no PC version? Or do we think that'll be later? Yeah, interesting. Fabi is good. But I've been playing some Black Friday pickups. Good for you. Agents of Mayhem. I've got Agents of Mayhem sitting on my computer. It's one of the few games I actually downloaded because I think it was a giveaway a while ago. I picked it up and thought, I'll have that. I can't remember where from. Maybe Epic Games Store. And I haven't got round to playing it. Yeah, it did. GTA6 broke Game Industry Day launch. Yeah. And it will in sales, but certainly in video views it did. Already slotted 1 billion shareholders for GTA6. I'm not surprised. Just do the maths. Honestly, like I said, do the maths. $70 a punt. It's easy going to do. I'm just talking what it's going to do in a weekend. Yeah? If it just does 20 million in a weekend, you're already at $1.4 billion. So, and, you know, what, tops, they get 20, 30% of that. Yeah. By the end of the year, you could easily see it selling 100 million copies over a few months. Fabi's not happy Rockstar not launching a PC version. It is curious that they don't even say PC version, to TBC, TBA. They've said, nope, we're not talking about a PC version. All we're talking about at the moment, Xbox Series X and PS5 only. So they're clearly going to be concentrating, optimizing the game for those consoles. And they're just going to concentrate on that for the moment. So rather than do sort of the PC version and then port it, I think they've got teams focused specifically on maximizing the Xbox Series X and S version, and a team probably maximizing the PS5 only, and then probably have another team working on the PC version, rather than, as I say, have a kind of a general version that they then sort of water down to sort of squeeze into, see if it'll work on an Xbox Series X or see if it'll work on the PS5. That's probably what they're doing, because that's where the money's going to be, I think, for them. And I'm sure the PC version will come out, later. Yeah, interesting observation, Caseball there. Can't see this thing running on a Series S, be honest. It'd be interesting. Maybe they'll bypass it by then. Don't know. Maybe there's a commitment to do it. Who knows? Yeah, it's got to have AI security for 18 plus for gameplay. That'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what AI, the curious thing is what boundaries are they going to push? What new areas in game development are they going to kind of, push to the limit or have breakthroughs in that we're going to see? There's rumors that they've spent, $1 billion developing it over 12 years or whatever. Yeah. I mean, in terms of, graphically, if you think of a similar sort of game, what Cyberpunk is doing at the moment, albeit, the best version of Cyberpunk is on PC, on a 4080, whatever plus. But with RTX and all of that and DLSS 3.0, it looks, Cyberpunk looks amazing. I would want my GTA 6 to look as good as Cyberpunk. But, potentially be a larger world, a larger map. Yeah, I'm saying $60, $70 now, but you're quite right. By 2025, premium game prices could easily have crept up to 70 to 80. So I was being modest. After discounts, after sales, there'll be giveaways and stuff like that, bundles. Yeah. Cloudbus is playing Avatar. I haven't got round to playing Avatar yet. I'm still playing Starfield. I'm still living my, reliving a life of Starfield, but taking, as I said last week, taking slightly different decisions. I've decided to be a good boy this time. I was a fairly good boy last time round, but I'm being an even better boy this time. Much better behaved in Starfield. Anyway, so from a massive game like Grand Theft Auto, yeah, with a massive developer behind it, let's go to the other extreme. Now, this wasn't on my original notes because it's breaking news. So last week, let's go to the blog. Look, so last week, bit of hype around the day before, a bit of mystery behind the developers. Who are the developers? What's it all about? There was some footage early on in the development stage. Some people saying, no, this is like a cutscene. This is not gameplay. Others saying it's gameplay. Other people saying, no, I'm a bit suspicious. They're trying to fob you off this gameplay because this game looks too good to be true. And if something looks too good to be true, it probably is. Anyway, so last week on GeForce Now, and I have even reported about it, the day before, so this is, as I say, been hyped on Steam. It was one of the most sort of anticipated games on Steam and all of that. The day before, Fantastic's new open world horror, massively multiplayer online game, a uniquely reimagined journey of survival set on the east coast of present-day US, launched on GeForce Now and on Steam and stuff like that. And Ultimate members could have taken advantage of 4K 120 frames per second. So a lot of I say a bit of hype around this game on Steam, just from footage that had been shared by the developer and who were the developer. And they talked about being volunteers working on the game and all this kind of weirdness around the game. Anyway, the Steam rating went into downfall, into a tailspin when it launched, because it there was hype about the game, and clearly, but there was also some serious skepticism about the game as well. And, once people started getting in there, they couldn't get online. There was nobody in the world. There was some janky bits and all of this. I saw some streamers sort of going through some of the gameplay bits, and it just wasn't really living up to the hype and the leak and all of that. And so a lot of people saying, is it a scam? They're taking our money, but the game's not what they said it was going to be. All of this. So, as I said, the fact that GeForce Now are leading with it goes to suggest that, it was an anticipated game. And so therefore a bit of a coup that is on GeForce Now. Anyway, the developers have shut down. Yeah. Let me get on main studio for that. The developers of the day before have shut down. The game that launched on Thursday, I think it was, Wednesday or Thursday. Just check the when it launched on GeForce Now. The 7th, okay? It launched, new release. A new release on Steam on the 7th of December. Yeah? So 4 days ago this game launched. And the developer has shut down. And here we go. This was tweeted out by the developer today. Today, we announced the closure of Fantastic Studio. Unfortunately, the day before has failed financially. Refunds. Yeah, because Steam offer refunds. And the worst thing, I think, for a developer, especially depending on all that kind of income, refunds. The day before it's failed financially and we lack the funds to continue. It's failed financially 4 days after launching to somewhat hype / skepticism. The skeptics were right for a change. There's me bemoaning skeptics and negative people, but even a broken clock is correct twice a day. Well, this time, the skeptics and the negative people, I'm afraid to say, were right to be skeptical about the game. Even I was thinking, really, that's a bit cynical. It's a sort of a scam, really. Really? Well, I think they might be right. The day before has failed financially and we lack the funds to continue. All the income received is being used to pay off debts to our partners. They clearly didn't have the liquidation, the cash flow to get to launch a game. We invested all our efforts, resources, and man-hours into the development of the day before, which was our first huge game. We really wanted to release new patches to reveal the full potential of the game, but unfortunately, we don't have the funding to continue the work. It's important to note we didn't take any money from the public during the development of the day before. Like, they must have known. The more I'm gonna sort of riff off the top of my head now, because this is fairly recent breaking news. They must have known the state of their finances and made a decision, made a gamble to launch the game on the hope that it would get enough money and that they could pay the debts and then maybe get into a kind of a liquid situation, right? Get some cash flow going. But clearly they banked on that happening. And when it didn't, they just basically created more debt that has to be paid off. So the fact that they released the game knowing arguably that they weren't liquid, they didn't have the cash flow to sustain the launch, is almost, I would say, I don't want to get sued or anything, but let's just call it, let's just say, I'm going to play safe here, but the word I'm thinking begins with F. But let's just say dodgy, yeah? It's a bit dodgy, yeah? But legally, the word begins with F. It's important to note we didn't take any money from the public during the development, but you did take money by launching the game. There were no pre-orders or crowdfunding campaigns. Maybe you should have crowdfunded it. We worked tirelessly, because I don't mind. I paid for stuff crowdfunded, and the games have come out. In fact, I'm not even played. Have they? I don't think I've played them. I was happy to support the developer. One of the games has come out. What's it? I forget what it's called now. I crowdfunded this, I must say, which I'm going to show you something now. It's called a flick switch. It's actually called a flick twist. And it's really, it's a smart switch. Anyway, I crowdfunded that. And yeah, it let me down slightly because it doesn't work with G Home, right? Yeah, Google Home, like they said it would, but that's on Google and they're hoping to fix it. So I can't really quite use it how I'd like to use it. Okay, Google, stop. Anyway, a really cool piece of tech. The irony is with this piece of tech, while I digress, ladies and gentlemen, let me digress. This is what I do on my show. It's called the flick twist. It's a smart switch. So if you've got smart light bulbs, you can have a switch. Why don't you just use your normal switch? It's not the same, is it? A smart switch. And it's got a little dial on it, so you can do dimming on it, or you could set it to do other things, or it's got a push and twist, and you can set it to do lots of things. Anyway, really cool. Except it doesn't work with G Home. Yeah, it doesn't work with G Home because Google have a rule that their G Home doesn't work with physical switches. Anyway, hopefully with the introduction of Matter, the smart home operating system universal across Google, Amazon, and Apple HomeKit, the developers of this, manufacturers of this, are hopefully going to have an update, and then I should be all cushy. Anyway, I digress. I haven't got a problem with crowdfunding, things. I've done it before. I've done it with games, and I've got a couple of games out of that, or at least one of the games anyway. Happy to support, developers with good ideas who want to do stuff. So maybe this developer should have crowdfunded. We worked tirelessly for 5 years, pouring our blood, sweat and tears into the game. At the moment, the future of Day Before and Prop Night, what is Prop Night, is unknown, but the servers will remain operational. We apologise if we didn't meet your expectations. We did everything within our power, but unfortunately we miscalculated our capabilities. At what point did you miscalculate your capabilities? Yeah? Was it on Friday? Was it on December the 7th? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? On the day of launch. I know the temptation to launch, but you're gambling knowing full well you don't have the finances behind you. You're gambling that there are enough sales and a small amount of refunds just to keep your head above water, to keep the lights turned on. All business is a bit like that, but there's also comes responsibility. And you don't, it's like going quick. It's like putting all your money on going to the casino. Business is not about putting all your money on red. Yeah. Business is about going, can we survive? What if red doesn't turn up? Is there an alternative? It's not going, it's all on red or nothing. That is not business. That is just gambling. And you're gambling with other people's money. You're taking other people's money knowing full well you're basically putting it on red like some kind of crazy pyramid scheme and spinning that wheel on the promise that, honestly, if it comes up red, we're all good. And people are entering and giving you that money unaware that what you're doing is basically spinning the casino, spinning the roulette wheel. They're giving you in good faith that you've got a game, and if the game doesn't quite work, that in good faith, they get it refunded. Anyway, we did everything in our power. We miscalculated our capabilities. Well, dodgy. Creating games is an incredibly challenging endeavour. Agreed, it is. We're grateful to everyone who supported us during these difficult years. It's been a fantastic journey over the past 8 years. Opening of the studio, release of Wild 8, Dead Dozen, Radiant 1, Prop Night, and 2023 released the day before. Just went too far, didn't they? But I think it's irresponsible of them to release the game. You're better off like holding the assets and touting it around to a independent publisher to say, look, help us fund this. The game, okay, the game is 80% there. Yeah, 90% there. We just need some more development time. We'll give up a share and do a deal. Go to Wired Productions or I can't think of any other names on my head, but you know what I mean? Like, what's the crazy one? Not Discord. I can't remember. They always have crazy marketing campaigns. Anyway, go to an independent publisher and say, look, we've done all the hard work here. We put all the money into the game, developing it. but we don't have enough money to finish it and publish it, we will give you a favorable share if you fund that. It's better to have a percentage of something. In my job, I was doing a deal and I said, look, you've had this percentage rate for years. No one else has it. It's outdated. We need to bring you in line with everybody else. Okay? You need to take a reduction. And I tell you what, partly we can't make any on sales from this because of the level of the percentage that you want. So actually, you're getting a higher percentage than everybody else, but you're getting a higher percentage of naught. Yeah? And when I went to school, a higher percentage of naught is naught. But if you reduce your rate in line with everybody else, you will get a smaller percentage, but you'll get a smaller percentage of an actual number. Yeah? I'm trying to be vague here. But the point is, it's better to get a smaller percentage of actual something, a positive number, than to get a higher percentage of zero. So anyway, that's what I would do. I would have, maybe just desperately gone to get support from, an indie developer, an indie publisher or something like that. But anyway, there you go. So as I said, a game, much hyped, big announcement. Even I made an announcement about it and showed clips, the trailer on my, weekly GeForce Now roundup video on a Thursday, every Thursday, 2 p.m. Because that's when the embargo lifts. And here we are. I want to see what. Where do you think you're going? Refund those people, then you can say goodbye and never come back. Exactly. They're literally just. Yeah, huge update and AI fixes is coming in a few hours. This was on the 8th. So they launched it on the 7th, full of bugs, very janky, all of that. Next day, they said, oh, don't worry, we've got AI fixes, server fixes, all of this. They must have known. They're not serious. They're just not serious. That's what it is as a business. They weren't operating, clearly, they were not operating seriously as a business. I think it's pretty shoddy behavior. Overload on the North American servers. Yeah, look, after 5 years, let's go to Steam. See what the Steam page actually looks like. All reviews, overwhelmingly negative. I'm not surprised. This game is shutting down, do not buy. Can you still buy the game? Early access. Can you buy the game? Runs on GeForce Now. Warning, this game, or at least the GeForce Now, the curators of the GeForce Now list on Steam have said this game is unsupported by its now closed down dev and may not last long on GFN. Exactly. Not recommended, not recommended. Yeah. Overwhelmingly negative, and now they were right. Hot fixes, yeah. I'm trying. Where would be the buy? Maybe you can't. I hope you can't buy it anyway. Don't buy it. Anyway, there you go. Shoddy. Let me know what you think in the chat below. Let's see what you guys have been saying. Caseball says Avatar is the best looking game this year. Snowdrop. I love the Snowdrop engine. They make great games on the Snowdrop engine. Neil agrees. I'm going to have to give it a go, aren't I? I think I could do with a kind of really nice, another look, pretty looking game. Even drop down to 720p for a while. Damn, that's smooth. Ah, Yoshida's in the house. Arigato gozaimasu. What you think of GeForce Now run 4K GTA6? Yeah. Seriously, it's stunning. Oh, now I'm tempted, Kate. You're doing a sales job, Case Ball there. I have Ultimate stable 120 1080 on GFN, tweak to 4K a bit. We were speaking at work today and four of us said we could have written the day before in about 2 to 3 weeks using the Unreal Asset Store, because that was one of the complaints, is that basically it was just full of existing assets, you know, that you get off the shelf. Avatar is like Far Cry Primal. I've heard that. I think Rock mentioned it. It had Far Cry Primal vibes to it, and he's a fan of Far Cry Primal. Love the game. Even better when I finally get my Ikran. Okay. Sounds painful. 'Twas the day before Xmas. Late, but all caught up. Thank you, Internet of Games. Had to powder my nose. Hello. Say hello to my little friend. I'm not suggesting that's the kind of powder you were using with your nose. But it did remind me then. I watched, I tell you what I watched last week. Interesting enough, with Yoshida, who was in the chat earlier there. I watched Scarface again. Now, what is it on? I can't remember if I bought it or if it's just on Amazon Prime or something. What a great movie. I've forgotten. I think I've seen so many. I think I have watched it years and years ago, but then since then, like I've seen so many clips of it, I kind of forgot whether I'd seen it completely as a whole piece. You know, and everybody says, you know, talks about the famous, you know, say hello to my little friend. You know, it's my bad Cuban accent, you know, whatever. Anyway, yeah, Scarface, brilliant. It really is a good movie. No wonder it's has the reputation it does. It's a really good, top quality Brian De Palma, back of the net, as we say. Back of the net. Anyway, another digression. Yeah, it is great achievement. Exactly. Here. And Batman Arkham Knight. They went on the next project, Gollum 2. Very good, yeah. You know, I quite like... what was wrong with Gollum? I mean, I quite liked it. It was a bit... I get a little bit repetitive. It didn't seem to sort of get going. It wasn't... Yeah. It felt like an amateur AAA Gollum. It lacked a bit of game design, I'd say. You know, a lot as a AAA game design. It looked all right. It played okay. But it's just a bit repetitive. I don't mind that sometimes, you know. What are you sniffing? Exactly. Same. See, great minds always playing great minds. Great minds, I'm telling you. That's what I thought. When a bloke says I'm just powdering my nose, it's slightly different from when a lady says she's powdering her nose, you know? Keeping a pouch full of cooked food is essential in Avatar. Good tip there, ladies and gentlemen. Caseball got a shout out Meg's launch day stream. I did see that she, because I saw GeForce Now retweet a tweet she tweeted about how she's saying it just looks beautiful. Wow. This sounds complicated. Got to find the food, find the right weather, find a recipe. Wow. Interesting. A good choice to use the Snowdrop engine. Well, it is a good engine. Jack Gilbert says, sucks at GeForce Now's pause subscription for the £10 month subscription of GeForce Now, the cheaper tier. Was going to purchase it, wonder it will be back. Well, in a way, it's just the the popularity because they paused priority and ultimate memberships for a while as well in Europe. Yeah, that's it. So I email this. Yeah, it's just Europe. I think it's testament to the popularity of GeForce Now, and especially when you consider the launch of Call of Duty, which, you know, I put out one of my lovely, sweet GeForce Now review roundups, and, you know, on a good week, I might get 300 views. Yeah, whoopee-doo. Whoopee-doo. Nobody's interested in GeForce Now news. I spend a few hours putting the video together, polished video. I don't muck about. But when I put out the video and there's a nice big Call of Duty picture, you know, on it, and it's a Call of Duty news, 1,300 odd views. Or it's certainly more than 1,000 views it's had. So that is how, you know, just a sort of indicative from that, I would hazard a guess. The popularity of that video is not because it's me doing GeForce Now news. It's because it's me doing GeForce Now news that features Call of Duty. That is the Call of Duty effect. So arguably, as I said, that maybe they're just overwhelmed, especially on the £10 a month subscription, the cheapest tier. People are going, wow, I get to play GeForce Now. I mean, I get to play Call of Duty, and you get to play it really well. It looks amazing on GeForce Now. On my old computer, or you know, pay £10 a month, and I'm getting to play it on at least a 3070 or 3080. Pay a little bit more, and you get it on a 4080, full on RTX and everything. Amazed they're still sold out. Yeah. They also paused for Ultimate Tier. Exactly. Yeah, it's just capacity. So, you know, there is a finite amount of cloud space, you know, cloud gaming servers. Considering, you know, they're delivering, especially Priority, Ultimate, when they're delivering 4080, you know, servers. They're super pods. So they're either got to make a heavy investment, but if everybody's playing Call of Duty Warzone, well, they've still got to subscribe. So yeah, doesn't matter. They get an extra £10 a month from everybody playing Call of Duty Warzone. Maybe they will make that investment, but I think that's what that is. That's indicative of how popular GeForce Now has become. You think about it, GeForce Now has had a free run, really, at cloud gaming. xCloud have not really offered anything, and now you're getting Xbox Game Pass on GeForce Now, where the games play better because you're playing the PC versions of the games, plus you're playing on a more powerful system, you know, especially Ultimate. They haven't GeForce Now don't really have serious competition. You got Boosteroid, but I don't, you know, and Boosteroid are moving to 4K, but they're not there yet, I don't think. But they'll be rolling out their servers. They don't have the same sort of capacity to support certainly 4K on the same basis that GeForce Now does. xCloud, as I said, seem to have taken their foot off the pedal and seem to be less interested in the idea of cloud gaming. And, you know, it's getting more and more relegated to a kind of side dish to the main Xbox Game Pass experience. So GeForce Now are the ones out there going, look, you can play Call of Duty Warzone. You can play, I was about to say the day before, perhaps not. You know, you could play Cyberpunk in some of the best looking versions of, you know, unless you bought yourself a 4080 plus gaming rig, the best looking experience you're going to get is GeForce Now Ultimate playing Cyberpunk. It looks amazing. It looks brilliant. Avatar. Yeah, you've got yourself an Ubisoft subscription. Boom. You've got You've got the Assassin's Creed Mirage. You've got Avatar. Brain went dead there. Avatar. All of that, and they look, as you know, as testament in the chat today. They look amazing. Apparently, it looks amazing. So yeah, testament to the fact that GeForce Now is doing so well. I hope, you know, come the new year. On the other hand, they are going big on AI servers at the moment. So maybe that's where they think the money is. You know, Nvidia, as a company, they've got to make the decisions about, you know, as I said, there's a finite amount of cloud space. What they're going to be using those servers for. Where do they put that money? So anyway, be interesting to see. Yeah, so Jack, no idea when they'll be back. I'm glad I'm in the club, as it were. Oh, look. Oh, Internet Games already looking forward to AM updates on Avatar there. Money talks, exactly. Nexus mods it is. I just got handheld and I'm not playing it. Oh, yeah. A ROG Ally. What an idiot. Ally. What is that like? I should get one. I should do a review of that. Jack's in the house. Hello, Jack. How are you? Good to see you. Always great to see Jack. What I do like about AMD frame generation is you can lock at, say, 33 and sure it gives you a steady 60 with great frame times. I like that. It's a bit like sort of cruise control. Yeah. Ah, the ROG Ally and Legion both run Windows. See, I'm not a great portable gamer, but I feel like I need to, you know, at least do a review. Like my review of the Meta Quest. Did very, very well. It's being sold here, Jack. I'm you know, Neil doing a great selling job. Got shares in it. Yeah, I hope to. But then 2K, like, you know, again, I don't think it moves the needle enough for them. If that makes sense. The nature of 2K is, you know, and Strauss Zelnick, the CEO, is like, unless it moves the needle significantly, unless they show him the cheese, and GeForce Now are not about showing people the cheese, you know, they're not about giving them, you know, giving people, not like Stadia where we're going, look, this is a new concept. It's a kind of like a new console. You know, you need to convince people to come on board. So we'll give you loads of money. So we've got a good catalog at the outset. You know, GeForce Now are just saying, bring your own. Yeah, bring your own games. It's a completely different model. So they're not about giving people, you know, massive advances to get their game on the service. They go, no, just tick to be part of the service. You know, just tick a box. We're not paying you for it. But equally, they have to sort of convince them that it makes sense, which it does, because they're not taking a cut of the sales of the game. People still have to buy the game. And to you and to me and everybody else, it makes perfect sense. Why would you not have your game showcased at 4080 on, you know, GeForce Now Ultimate on the service? But for some people, like 2K, it's like, oh, whatever. We haven't decided. Can't be bothered to get out of bed. That's what it is. It's like, you know, they're making, you know, they're going to end up making £1 billion through Rockstar and everything. I've got an old Optiplex. Oh, my God. Yoshida's there. Firing the guns. Day before is really dead. It's been removed from Steam. Exactly. That's what we were talking about earlier. Yes. Yeah, it is only a matter of time before it's removed from GFN. That's the great irony, is the fact that it was like that and Avatar were the lead story for GeForce Now news, you know, because of the curiosity / hype around it. The developers on Fantastic were really strange in terms of like, who were they? Their videos were very cryptic. I watched a YouTuber talk about, you know, before the shutdown, but talk about some of he was doing a playthrough of the launch just to see what it was all about. But also he talked about the history of the game and some of the kind of weird cryptic videos that the developers, you know, launched. Were they paying anybody? Then they talked about volunteers. They talked about a community group. Just weird. Which in retrospect, you know, well, this is it. They have to refund everyone. The question is whether Steam, I don't know what Steam's policy is, whether Steam take the hit if the developer goes into liquidation and they don't have the money. Then does Steam take the hit? I don't know. There we are. Steam may take the hit. Internet again. Exactly. There we are. Internet. You're thinking exactly what I'm thinking. Played a bit of Warzone 1. Now GFN has sorted out the multi-update farce. It runs amazing. I know. I like when it first launched. I kind of had to launch it about 2 or 3 times, and then it got going. And then I had problems with my controller. But anyway, that's all sorted. You can still play it if you purchased it. Yeah, you can. But it's not supported. And everybody's going to, it's a multiplayer game. So you need other people in the game to really get a sense of it. Otherwise, the game was already really empty. They had a patch to roll out. I don't think they rolled that patch out. And the patch was to kind of, so the game's already really buggy. There's not going to be nobody in it. It's dead. So the game's dead. You can play it, but it's dead. Studio shuts down within 4 days of release. They knew the bottom line before. Horrible precedent. Exactly, Simply Pawned. Exactly what I was saying earlier. It's irresponsible. They knew, to quickly paraphrase what I said earlier, they knew what the situation was, and they basically took a gamble without telling. They basically bet other people's money on it being a success, i.e. people who bought the game. They took that money and basically put it all on red on the roulette table on the hope that it would come up red and then everything would be good. Without telling consumers that's what they were doing. Basically, yeah. It's unplayable though. Exactly. Some people couldn't get into the game. All of that. Servers within 10 days as they host them. Yeah, they'll be gone before you know it. I saw that Boosteroid is adding the Microsoft Store this week, which is great news for Boosteroid. Another place. So actually, if I was Boosteroid, especially in Europe, I'd do a big push to all those people who can't get GeForce Now Priority or GeForce Now Ultimate, especially with 4K coming up on Boosteroid. I'd do a big push going, come and play it over here. One of my first videos, one of my early videos on Boosteroid was me playing Call of Duty Warzone. One of the most viewed videos over on Lord Kenzel's channel. So yeah, if I was Boosteroid, I'd certainly use it as a marketing tool. Personally, the fact that you can't get on to the GeForce Now Priority or Ultimate on some cases in Europe. It's not available. Right now, I'm using Boosteroid. Not as great. No, it's not. But they are rolling out 4K, so, get your refund. Yeah, I don't think... Calamis says, I don't think NVIDIA's making any huge profits GFN to force upgrades to servers. They focus on AI instead. And I think that could be a risk. That as a business, you double down, don't you? You double down on your successes. And if your successes are in AI, which for NVIDIA over the last 6 months has definitely been the case. They bet big on AI and the AI servers and providing, chips and servers in the cloud that can run AI at, very capable rates and all of that. You may make a decision on what you're going to use your servers in the cloud for. And maybe that's what it is, that they're going to upgrade the servers more on the AI side of the business. Don't know. But it would make sense. Kilamis, that's what I want to say. Yeah. Well, Neil, in a way, part of me thinks you could get a refund if you didn't buy it, because this is exactly, in a way, what they've done to consumers. Maybe that's what we should all claim a refund. Yeah. And say, I'll give you the game back when you've built it, Avatar. Wow. I'm just reading the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just reading the chat. Avatar looks better than Cyberpunk. There, I said it, says Internet of Games. It's interesting because it's a different setting, isn't it? Cyberpunk's all about, rain on the neon streets of Night City and all of that. And Avatar's about lush greenery and forestry and wondrous worlds and all that kind of stuff. So it's interesting. There we go. Launch a game if you didn't build it these days. Exactly. Get enough hype. I mean, the internet is full of scams, isn't it? Or promises. Promises. Oh, we're building this amazing thing. It's going to be amazing, honestly. And then, they can't deliver on the hype and the execution, That's what happens sometimes. Wow, chat is buzzing tonight, and I really, really appreciate it. I have got other news, but, I was having a look at, before we go back to the chat. Just check my, yeah. I was having a look at Skull and Bones. They had so Skull and Bones is having another beta test. Now, I was in the last one, but I completely forgot I had access to play Skull and Bones. As a Sea of Thieves veteran, I have a very distinct requirement when it comes to my pirate games, and I don't think Skull and Bones is going to deliver that. But I was watching this deep dive, and it's interesting. They've added so much more since since the summer, in terms of what you can do, what's achievable. They've added like ghost ships. I don't think ghost ships were there back in the summer. Very similar to Sea of Thieves. You see there was a sea monster. They've added like a kind of a sea monster type challenge. And so it was really interesting watching this deep dive trailer about many of the things they've sort of borrowed, although the gameplay is very, very, very different, and which is the one thing that puts me off slightly. It's this sort of third person boat. You're controlling the boats in third person. If that makes sense. Whereas in Sea of Thieves, you're controlling the boats in first person. And, your character is going to the cannon. Your character is putting a cannonball in. Your character is running to the sails and pulling the sails down. Your character is steering the boat. Whereas here, I feel like if it's like Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, you're sort of controlling the boat from a third-person perspective. It's not quite the same experience. However, many of the elements in this deep dive trailer here have a similarity to Sea of Thieves. So I think they've borrowed a few things from Sea of Thieves. Plus it's got some of those things so they've added some sea monsters. They've added a kind of ghost ship thing going on. They've added progression, and you get to certain levels and it opens up like new maps and things or new treasures that you can go for. So that's a bit like getting to in Sea of Thieves. If you get to become a pirate legend, yeah, then you can do what they call Athena voyages, yeah, which give you much more loot. You have secret access to a hidden space where you can get extra kind of cosmetics, but also you get you get these Athena voyages. And there's a similar element in the progression in this. There's a sea monster again. And also you can join up with other players to take on tasks by basically you fire like a friendly cannon into the sky. And in Sea of Thieves, what you do is you raise, I forget what the name is, like an associate flag or whatever. Forget what they called it. But you raise a little associate flag, and if somebody sees it and they raise their flag, then you can team up. They can still betray you when you've done whatever you needed to do. But yeah, so you can team up with people and stuff like that. So those are good things to borrow. I don't have a problem with a game borrowing good ideas from another, developer and then putting their own interpretation on it. By all means, good ideas are to be shared and, replicated. Anyway, so interesting. I think I will try to play the beta trial. I'm in again, and I'll try and make a mental note. I'll give it a go. As I say, I forgot it. I remembered I'd had it. I went to play it, and then the beta trial was over, and I thought, I wanted to give it a go. Anyway, just thought I'd share that. Let's close some of these down, man. The other thing, also quickly, while we're here, let's have a quick look at Mad as a Box of Frogs, Hideo Kojima's teaser trailer. I think we probably put the sound on this one because it's... let me just let me put the sound on it. Whoops. There we go. Let's try again with some sound. Hopefully this works. Very weird. But what would you expect? Nothing less. Look at the eyes. See, the eyes are the clue.
Bending and quacking. The hungry purple dinosaur.
He's just a frustrated film director, isn't he? Just wants to make avant-garde films. Kojima.
The jabbering crab and the mad whale and started bending.
Getting Senua Blades kind of vibes off the graphics there.
The hungry purple dinosaur.
Looks like he's reading it.
Ate the kites in his fox.
Look at that. Look at the detail in that face.
And the mad whale and started bending and
again, the eyes weird. It's some random drug thing going on. Oh, get ready. There we go. OD. Mad as a box of frogs. Anyway, it's a sort of a horror. It blends horror and movie concepts together a bit, and about drugs, obviously overdose, and all of that kind of stuff, and horror all mixed in. That's all we really know about it. As ever, I am a great fan of auteurs, whether it's in filmmaking, game development, whatever it is. I sometimes get a sense, is it the Emperor's clothes here? Do you know what I mean? Am I missing the point sometimes? I played Death Stranding and look, yeah, graphically amazing. And, you know, people say, oh, it's worth the payoff, keep going. But I found it terribly frustrating walking around with large boxes on my back across what felt like Pembrokeshire, you know, the Welsh mountains or something. It just, and I get it, you know. Oh, you know, it looked amazing. Don't get me wrong, it played amazing. I love the gameplay. I love the concept of like trying to keep your balance, you know, with all the stuff on. But I lost a bit of patience with it. And, you know, it doesn't, just because it's Kojima, he doesn't get a free ride with me, you know, like, no, I mean, he doesn't get like a pass. You know, you've still got to hook me in. And, look, I'll keep cracking on with it, but, yeah, they don't always hook me in. And I'm always nervous about getting sucked into all the hype. Oh, but it's, you know, Kojima. It's like, you know, oh, it's a Tarantino film. Yeah, usually they're amazing. I love them. But not everybody knocks it out the park every week. That's all I'm saying. Avatar putting a late entry for Game of the Year. The whole thing is, Neil, it's almost like it's too early, isn't it? It's like Oscars. If you have a cracking film, like just after the Oscars, or just at the start of, you know, the start of the year in which your film will count. It's the ones towards the end. They're strategic. You know, film studios who think they've got Oscar-worthy films tend to, unless they're trying to hit the blockbuster dates, tend to push them towards, you know, the season that's going to be fresh in the memory of the Academy voters. Yeah. What do I think of Boosteroid? I like Boosteroid. You know, again, like it's one of my screens is 1080p. Well, actually, this one's a 48. What am I saying? 4K screen, but I played Warzone on it, and it was great. Great experience. I played eFootball on Boosteroid. Fine, not a problem. So I haven't got. I like Boosteroid. Obviously, GeForce Now Ultimate. You know, I'm fortunate to have that, and that is the best in class, right? In terms of cloud gaming, GeForce Now Ultimate, best in class. But I think in between free GeForce Now, except GeForce Now isn't going to be free. It's going to have just the low entry. Or Boosteroid, you know, you might want to consider Boosteroid, especially if availability of GeForce Now, even though I'm an ambassador, if it's not available in Europe, then, you know, Boosteroid, especially getting the, you know, similar deal in terms of the Microsoft Store and all of that, might be worth a shout. But if you can afford it, definitely, you know, it's a luxury. Don't get me wrong. You know, I've got gazillion subscriptions. Some of them I don't really need. Now I've got my I've got streaming service subscriptions, cloud gaming subscriptions. Now with AI, I've got various AI subscriptions. I need to cut back on my subscriptions, man. Whew. I heard Nvidia negotiate with Disney to get Midnight Suns. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe. But it's just not their raison d'etre. It's just not their modus operandi, as far as I know. It loads games for me more smoothly than GeForce Now. That's good. But doesn't look quite as good, indeed. I can't figure out why was Nvidia so tired to the day before and promoted it so often. I don't know, other than the fact it was one of the most anticipated things, or there was a lot of buzz around it on the internet and around Steam, and obviously a lot of big games from Steam come to GeForce Now, and therefore GeForce Now naturally thought, hey, there's been a lot of buzz about this game, and we've got it day one release, day and date. Yippee. Of course, there was equally a lot of skepticism about it. You know, that's the thing. And they, you know, that like everybody else, they saw the value in the hype and thought, oh yeah, we'll have some of that. We'll have a bit of that hype cake. It turned out the hype cake was stale. They always open with their gaming heritage at events worldwide, and gaming does still make them 4.4 million a year. Billion, yeah, not to be snubbed. Yeah. Wow, look at 25 grand. Hey, Jerome's in the house. Maybe I should advertise this show. Let's come on, let's start raising some money, ladies and gentlemen. If we can hit 25 grand, $25,000, I'll take out a 20 foot by 40 foot Times Square ad. Come on, let's do it. Hit those, send in those super chats so we can get $25,000 and I can get a 20 by 40 Times Square ad for the show. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Suarez says, what do I think about the game of the year being an X-Stadia exclusive? Exactly. Baldur's Gate. I'm not even talked about Baldur's Gate. Not only did Baldur's Gate win Game of the Year awards, yeah, but at the same time now available on Xbox Series X. Brilliant. And yeah, those of us that, you know, I played it. Did I play it on Stadia? Yeah. Anyway, it was on Stadia. Played it for ages because nobody cared, did they? Nobody cared. Oh, it's Stadia. Stadia doesn't work. Yeah, the lobster people. That's what we're going to call them, yeah? I remember. The lobster people. Yeah. And there we were. Game of the year. A year early. Game of the year, a year early. Caseball beta, 15th to the 18th. It's in my diary. Thank you for Caseball for reminding me. When is that? This weekend. Right, I'm setting sail. Must not forget this time round. I want it to be good. I want to like it. I'm not a big... Yeah. I like bits of Black Flag. I must admit. Still pun about today. Wear your time as a badge of honor. Yeah. We're all bitter about, not bitter, but you know, tarnished. Yeah, the trailer is weird. I told you, mad as a box of frogs. But that's Hideo Kojima. Some people are dismissive of ODs. Nobody can tell me they haven't thought about OD more than once this week. Well, I must admit, I only caught up with it this week, so there we go. Too early for gameplay. Yeah, exactly. It's a girl. Well, the actress is a girl. Best times on Stadia, Division 2, Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal. Oh my God, it was so good. Doom Eternal. Well, Division 2 was the standout game on Stadia in terms of frame rates, what it looked like, the best delivery, I thought. And Cyberpunk was impressive. Doom Eternal was super impressive. 4K 60. Doom Eternal is so far. Doom Eternal was the real calling card, I think, in terms of you can't too much lobster people, too much lag and latency. You can't play fast FPS. You can't play an FPS on Stadia. Doom Eternal, you could. That can't play an FPS. Cloud gaming can't play FPS. Stadia said, hold my beer. Doom Eternal, I thank you very much. That game was like, whoa, was on like FPS on steroids on ice. It was incredible. It literally was like carrying a fridge over the Welsh hills. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. Hours of it. Hours of it. Except when you got a motorbike. Yeah? And then you carefully cross a ford, yeah, or a stream, and then you fall in and you lose all your bloody boxes. I used to, Yoshida and I used to play PUBG all the time, like every week. So used to stream it with Lord Kenzel. PUBG on yeah, I've not played PUBG for a while. One of my best experiences, on PUBG is I remember playing with Project Storm. Obviously, playing with Yoshida is always delight. I remember we got a chicken dinner. I don't think I killed anybody. I got a chicken dinner by hiding. They could not find me. And they got caught by the closing cloud. And I didn't. I must have been hiding in a cupboard or something. No, I was in a hotel. It was like an abandoned hotel. And I was in one of the rooms in that hotel. So all they knew, I was somewhere in a building. But there were so many rooms in the building, I don't think they could find me in time. And then they died. And we got the winner chicken dinner. And then the other time was with Project Storm. With the shotty. And I had the shotty. It's brilliant. Anyway, such a laugh. It's great, isn't it, when you play a game with mates and you just have a great... I hear my son like yelling at the top of his head. He's back into Fortnite. My son is back into Fortnite since they had the whole, original map come back and his mates. And now he's a... I forget what the grade is, but he's like epic level or something like that. He can't go down now. He's worked his way through the different levels in terms of the matchmaking, and I think he said he was at epic level. Once you get to that level, you can't go down. So you go. I forget what the levels are, but like silver, gold, whatever. But then you get to epic. Anyway, him and his mates are up there. But yeah, you just think, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Playing with your mates, playing with the crew, all of that. Incredible. Right. Wow, it's 20 past 11 already. We need to wrap this up. So I just want to... I want to make sure... Do you think 2024 is the year xCloud comes out of beta? I don't know. Like, they can't really upgrade because it's running on... Because they're running it on Xbox Series X blades. In order to get optimal rate, you need to sort of run it at twice the speed. And maybe they can't do that because they're running them on blades. You could do it like Stadia could do it because they were like, they created the blades. So they could run the game at like twice the speed and then feed it through the system. I mean, I don't know exactly how it worked, but by doing that, then gives the end user, like when the time the end user gets it, they're getting half the speed, but that speed is at 60 frames per second or 120 frames per second. And I guess the same with, GeForce Now. They've got really super powerful blades that can run the game at a kind of higher rate so that then when it's processed, the images are processed to be sent down the wire, they come out at your end at 120 frames per second or whatever it is. I'm not sure if you're running the games on Xbox Series X blades, it's always going to be diluted. They can't go up any higher. GeForce Now can go up higher and then dilute it down to, they could run them on 4090s or whatever, a higher rate and everything, and then dilute it down. And so our experience is really good. But like, if it's starting off at Xbox Series X blade level, you're going to get some degradation, aren't you? They can't go up and then let that degradation bring it down to Xbox Series X level at the consumer end. If that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just, off the top of my head. Cyberpunk maxed with Hulk Hogan's texture pack. Yeah, it is hilarious. Yeah, we're going, yeah, I know. I played it. Played it, mate. I played it, mate. And it looked great on Stadia. Exactly. The same guys. Exactly. It's, it's like, just put a pair of shoes on the right person and then suddenly they become, everybody needs a pair of those shoes. The wrong person wearing the shoes, nobody wants them. That's what it is. Same pair of shoes. Same pair of shoes. Yeah, Division 2, such a good game. Still is a good game. I want the Heartland to come out. Maybe you'll be happy in a statement in the not too distant future. Ooh. Jerome. Okay, Case Paul. Case Paul, any inside information you'd like to slip me? You slip into my DMs, as they say, as the kids say. You heard it here, folks. A bit of Division 2 news forthcoming. It's Division 3, isn't it? I touched on it. Rumours of Division 3 last week, I think it was. Jerome, I tell you what, Jerome, yes, you one of the first people ever to watch. I think you watched Lord Kensal before you watched Clive. I think you were one of the first ever people to watch Lord Kensal, Jerome. I think you watched Lord Kensal in Sea of Thieves days. I'm sure you did, didn't you? Series S blades. I thought they were Series X blades. They were playing them off. Just checking. xCloud is the same as Xbox. Yes, we just call it xCloud. Yeah, nobody even knows what it is. Nobody. Yeah, what is it called? xCloud, Xbox Cloud Gaming, X Game Pass Cloud. Yeah, xCloud for short. That's what we all. That's the shorthand we're all using, Jack. Let's all agree. xCloud. Yeah. 360 blades. Brilliant. I had the £12.99 month Xbox subscription last month. Love the catalogue games. Always a bit blurry on the screen because of pretty slow Wi-Fi. GFN was able to handle it better. Yeah. And on that, last week saw 100 Game Pass, 100 Xbox PC Game Pass games have now come to GeForce Now. I mean, I do the blooming GeForce Now news roundup every week, and the amount of games I've had to report on every week is a hell of a lot. It's like 18 games, 20 games, 18 games to run. 65 games coming in December, and the reason of that is that most of them are Xbox PC games. So actually, when I think about it like that, it's no surprise that we've already hit 100 Xbox PC Game Pass games. Not just games that are on the Microsoft Store, because that would be more, because not all games, there are Xbox PC games that aren't on Game Pass, on the PC Game Pass, that are in the store that you can now get via GeForce Now. But yeah. Well, there we are, Jack. Keyboard and mouse support for the Xbox PC games on GeForce Now. And there's 100 of them. And yet no Sea of Thieves and no Halo yet. Yeah, we're all agreeing. Xbox Cloud Gaming, xCloud, that's the one. You're not being dumb. It's crazy. Nobody really knows. OD, overdose. Yeah. That's what we're assuming it means, overdose, because it's sort of about some futuristic drug. That's all we really know about the game, OD. And it's an Xbox. It's the game. So OD, talking of Stadia, and I was skeptical about the rumors because, yes, do I believe Stadia were talking with Hideo Kojima? I think he mentioned Stadia or whatever. Yes, I do. How far down the line did they get? I'm not so sure. But it is rumored that this is the game that he was going to be developing for Stadia. Now, as I said, how far down the line they were, did he even have the concept of the game? Did he even have an idea of what the game would be when they were having conversations with Stadia? And those conversations may have been very early sounding each other out. But of course, people are speculating that actually it was a commitment that Stadia would take on Kojima and his game, and they would do something crazy in the cloud together and blah, blah, blah. And then obviously Stadia shut it down. And the next thing we know is Xbox are making this announcement that they're doing something with Kojima, and they're going to be doing something in the cloud with Hideo Kojima. And so everybody's assuming that this would have been a game with Stadia. I don't know. I don't know whether that's true or not. Anyway, that's enough game chat for tonight, I think. I want to give you a massive arigato gozaimasu, a massive big thank you. I am really, really grateful for everybody who jumped in today and joined the game chat. Didn't get through all the news, but that doesn't matter. We had a lots of good old juicy bits to talk about. And I enjoyed the back and forth, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it's all about. Monday game chat. That's what we like talking about. So big, big thank you to all of you. Really appreciate it. And if you're watching this later on catch up, that's okay as well. We count you all the same, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And hopefully I will see you the same time, same place next week. And hopefully see you GeForce Now news as well, which will be coming out on Thursday as ever. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I'll see you round. Time for the outro.
Thanks for watching the Monday Game Chat with your host, Clive Illenden. Don't forget to hit the likes, subscribe, and consider becoming a member. Hit the join button today.